Hi guys, Dr. Mel here. We're busy with work in the theme of work, which is related to energy, and we're going to have a look at this work on a slope. We've done the horizontal and we've covered the vertical, but now we're going to have a look at the slope and all the components of forces and work that is related to that. Remember, we've got an equation that's been given to you on the information sheet. Remember that you've got joules that you've got to calculate with newtons and meters, and make sure that you've got the distance or the displacement in meters. Otherwise, your calculations will be wrong. Let's just have a look again. Identify all the forces. I usually go and draw my own free body diagram. Make sure if they don't ask you to do that, that you do that for every object that they are giving you. So remember, you've got a normal force if there's a surface. You've got gravity. Well, if it's on any planet, there'll be gravity. So that force will always be there. And then make sure if you've got applied or frictional forces that you've got them in the correct direction. So let's have a look at a slope. Now, just to revise what's happening on a slope. If you've got this object here, that's some or other mass, you know, because you've done gravity and Newton's laws, that there'll always be a force down. And you can calculate that gravitational force by using 9.8. So you always have that force. You always have the norm. You don't always have the value, but you've got the normal force. And that's what you have always. What you have to find is usually components. So I have to quickly just show you. If you have that force going downwards, please remember that you've got to take some time to calculate the force. That's the component of the gravity that's perpendicular to the slope. Let's call that the perpendicular component. And then, and this is very important, that you also find the force of the gravity that's parallel to the slope. Remember, these two actually formed a triangle. Let us quickly have a look. You had a triangle there, and these were the forces. And in this triangle, you had an angle, and that angle there would be exactly the same as this angle there. It's just a little bit of revision. Go back to Newton's laws and see that you can do the forces on a slope. Now, what's the diagrams that you have here? When it's downward, when it's moving downward, you can see that this force here will be downward, and you've got the applied force that's going downward, which means the frictional force will then be upward. And you can see here, I've got my downward gravitational parallel component, and I've got my downward applied force, with the friction being in the opposite direction. Perpendicular, you know, we've got the perpendicular component and the normal force. And because this object is either moving up or down, and in this case it's moving down, you know that there's no forces, that's net forces, making any object going up and down, or in this case perpendicular. Let's have a look. If it's downward, you've got your gravitational component parallel, and your applied that side, and your friction that side. Make sure that you draw a free body diagram. So you know now, if this is the forces that you're working with and it's going downward, these forces here, the parallel and the applied, will be greater than the friction because it's moving downwards. Otherwise, it would be moving upward. Let's see if it's up the slope. If it's going up the slope, the applied force will go upward. This whole box, object, whatever the object is, will move upward. But you'll still have the downward gravitational parallel component because gravity is pulling it downwards. And you now, because it's moving upward, you'll have friction to the opposite side. Make sure that you identify the direction. Is it up or down? And then according to that, get your correct directions and your net forces. Again, I've got the applied force going up, and I've got these two forces down. And as I said, this one is greater than this one because it's pulling this object up. And you can see here, I allocated negative signs to these two forces, and I've got a positive sign for the applied force. Make sure, guys, that you've got the correct directions. If there's no force applied, then you know the only forces that's in this plane here, this is the slope, will be the friction and will be the parallel component. And yes, because there's no force, these two will be equal to each other. And it's usually no acceleration or a constant velocity. Now let's get to a question being asked and where you're going to apply this. Get your pen, get your paper, get your calculator so that you can work with me and draw the diagrams and see if you get the same answers that I do. A man pulls a car with a load up a hill. I made that in yellow. Your examiner is not going to put that in a different color. So in your mind, you already see here that you've got an object that's going upwards in a hill, which forms an angle of 25. So they're giving you the angle of this hill. The mass of the cart and the load is 350 kilograms, and they're giving you the frictional force of 180. So you've got to get your picture of a load that's being carried up or pulled up, but there's friction in the opposite direction. And you know, because they give you your mass, you can immediately calculate your gravity. The road is there 180, and then they say it's the distance of a half a kilometer that's being covered. Now, the bell should be ringing now. We're not working with kilometers. We are actually working with meters. So if this is a half a kilometer, make sure that you convert that from a kilometer to meters, because that's the quantities that we are working with. They're asking me to draw a free body diagram and determine the network on the cart. So let's get to answering the question. I'm firstly saying to myself, I've got a slope, an angle of 25. So I'm going to draw just this side here, a 25-degree angle, and I know I've got this man pulling this cart. So just to get myself some idea of what's going on, I know there's a gravitational force there. I know that consists of two forces, the components, and if it's going up, that would be the applied force. You now know that the downward force will be the frictional force. So that's the kind of diagrams that you have to draw, just a picture. They're asking me to draw a free body diagram, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to say I've got the force there. I've got the applied force, which is upwards. I've got the downward force, which is the friction. I also have the gravity going down, and I've got the normal force from the surface. That would be one free body diagram. I'm going to show you to take the gravity out, but substitute it with the two components. That's the gravitational parallel component, and that's the gravitational perpendicular component. And all the other forces remain the same. So you still have your applied force upward, you've got your normal force upward there, and you substituted. Remember, you substituted this force with these two components. Never ever draw all three of them. You either have the gravitational force or you've got the two components. Please make sure that you don't lose marks with this kind of errors that you can make. Let's quickly, just because we've got it here, say if I've got 0.5 kilometers, how many meters will it be? Well, you'll have to know that that will be 500 meters, which is going to be my delta x. So make sure from the beginning that you immediately convert it, then there's no problems. Right, determine the net work. So what they're asking of me is to get the work net. Now I can do it with different ways. I've got my, where did I draw my, let's quickly find my, identify my forces. Let's get to this. I want to work out the net force. So let's work with the gravitational component downwards. You know it's that one. I've got my friction downwards, and that's the applied force upwards. You sure that you can do that? Because you've got the value of this component. So let's do that first. I'm going to say it's a 350 kilogram. It's 9.8, which gives me a gravitational force of 3430. I want the parallel component that's going downwards. So the parallel component is 3430 times the sine of 25 degrees, which gives me a value of 1449.58 newtons. I also have the gravity, the friction. So I've got this frictional force, which is 180 Newton, and I do not have the applied force upward. But they gave me the fact that there's no acceleration. So let's see what we can do with the fact that there's no acceleration. Well, if there's no acceleration, the F net will be 0. So let's calculate the F net. F net is MA, which we now know is 0, but it's also the net forces of these components. So it's the applied force minus the component that's parallel minus the friction. Now, make sure that these two are the minus forces because this is in this direction. The applied force is obviously in that direction. So that force is greater than these two. So make sure that you do allocate the correct signs to them. We know this is going to be the question to calculate. I know that answer. I got it here, 1449.58, and I have the frictional force, which is 180. I can then go and say FA is equal to that, and that's 0. So therefore, minus FA is equal to minus 1629.58. Thus, the applied force is 1629.58 Newton. Did you identify all the forces? Yes, I did. Now we need to calculate. The question was the net work. So let's calculate the net work. We can say the net work is, what force are we going to use? We're going to use the net force, or the applied force in this case. We've got the distance as, what did they tell me? 500 meters, and I know the cos will now be 0 degrees. So the applied force, which we calculated in this calculation here, 169.58, 1629.58 times the 500 times 1, and that would give you your work done by your applied force. It's important, guys, that you have a look at the certain force that will give you that value, and you can now calculate that to be whatever the work is in that force's direction. So let's just see what the answer will be. The work will then be, where have I got it written down? Let me quickly see. 1629, let me quickly do it. 1629.58 times 500. I'm getting a value of 814790. So it's 814,719 joule. That's the work done by this man pulling this cart. Let's get to another question. Ntombi is riding her skateboard. Now, down the hill. Important, it's going downward. So immediately see a skateboard going downward. The hill forms an angle of 15 degrees, and they give you the mass of Ntombi and the skateboard. They also give you the frictional force. Now, if Ntombi is going downward, on the slope, you have to know the frictional force will be upward. That's the kind of deductions that you make when you read through the text, through the question. They also tell you the value of the frictional force as 65, and they want you to answer a few questions. Let's draw a free body diagram. So I've got Ntombi going down a hill. I'm going to draw it that way. I'm saying she's going down here, and this is the 15-degree angle, and I'm going to see what the force is. Well, she'll always have a gravitational force. There will be a normal force upward, and we know because she's coming downward, she's going that way, the friction will be that way. Those are the three forces that's currently working on Ntombi. But remember, and I've said it in every slope question, you actually have this being part of two, that can be part of two components. You can have your perpendicular component and you can have your parallel component. Guys, be careful because you can see here that this is going to be the one that you're going to work with because the normal is that side and the friction is that side. So make sure that you've got the right forces in order for you to calculate the forces values, obviously, and then the work. They also asked me to determine the distance. Now, this is a new question. They're asking me to determine delta x, but they're giving me another value. They're saying to me that the net work is 3,000 joule. So if the net work is 3,000 joule, we need to calculate the net force because we know that will give us an indication of the delta x. So if I have the W, I can calculate that. I'll be able to find my delta x. So let's get working to do that. We know the mass of Ntombi and her skateboard was 55 kilograms. I can calculate thus the gravitational force to be 539 Newton. Remember, we said that would be a parallel component as well as a perpendicular component. To calculate this parallel component, I need the 539 and I do the sine of 15 degrees. That gives me a value of 139.5 Newton. Now, if you go back to your free body diagram, you now have this force here, and you've got friction there, which is 65 Newton. That would give you your net force. So let's calculate our net force. It will be 139.5, and maybe just for clarity, it's that force minus the friction, so it's minus 65, and you'll get a value of 74.5 Newton. Now I have my net force, and as I said previously, if you've got your net force and you've got your work done, you can calculate delta x. So let's complete this. I've got 3,000 here. I calculated my net force just now as 74.5. So we can substitute that with 7.5 times, and the net force will be in the same direction. So it will be cos 0 degrees, and I need to find delta x. So I'm going to say this is 74.5 just for the sake of the explanation. You can do it in one step. I'm then going to say it's delta x is equal to 3,000 divided by 74.5. And if you do an accurate calculation, you'll get a value of 240.27 meters. They asked me to calculate the distance. What did they give me? They gave me the energy that she's using or the work that she's done, and we saw the net force that's creating this work done is 74.5. So I hope you could do a calculation where they ask something else, but just bear in mind, go to the correct forces. Do you see here? I had the the weight or the gravity. I could then, and I had the slope because I have to have that, I could then calculate the parallel component, and then from the parallel and the friction, I could get to the net force. So important, guys, if you have to work out the net work or the net force, that those two are working together. You cannot use just the friction or something to work out the net work. Right. Again, know the definition of work. There's a relationship between the workforce and the displacement, which we saw just now. You have to be accurate when you do calculations, and please know that you have to work with the specific force that they're asking you. In this case, we had a parallel component and a frictional component. So don't get these wrong, because you're going to have problems getting to the correct answer. I hope you enjoy and you're using your energy to do the work on slopes. Bye bye.